Hi, everybody. Welcome to the next podcast. This time we're going to talk about influencers, streamers. We have a great chat with a guy called Eric from one of the leading streamers called CasinoDaddy. Check it out.
Welcome to this latest episode in the Up Yggdrasil series of podcasts. My name's Stuart Darkin. I'm the Director of New Media at Square in the Air, and I'm joined again today by Fredrik Elmqvist, who's the CEO and founder of Yggdrasil. I'm also joined by Eric and Kristian from CasinoDaddy. And that's because today we're going to be talking about casino streaming in a session entitled Playing for Kicks, Why Streamers Are Here to Stay. We're going to talk about the streaming community, its impact on the industry, and how Yggdrasil works with streamers. But first, we should do some quick introductions. So, Fred, Eric, Kristian, if you don't mind taking 30 seconds each just to introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay, here we go. I'm Fred. Been in the industry for quite some time. Started off with sports betting, went to the casino 2008 something. And I've been really enjoying this. And I'm heading up a company called Yggdrasil, done that for some time. And today I'm here to talk with these great streamers about the streaming.
Yes, my name is Eric. Nice to see you guys, as always. I've been in the industry for 5 years, been streaming for 5 years, 23rd of April. So streaming on YouTube and on Twitch, the platforms, and very active on social medias as well. We have a close connection with our community and the viewers that have the common interest, and that's pretty much gambling and everything about slots and table games, pretty much.
All right, I'm Kristian, and I am a key account manager for CasinoDaddy or Yggdrasil Media. I work with talking with providers and making sure that we get the best content available for our community and our viewers. And of course, Yggdrasil is one of our key partners because you guys have been great at helping us out with you don't mind funding some good ideas. It could be, for some marketing and so on to make sure that we can bring the funniest moments on our stream, of course, in collaboration with great providers such as yourself.
Eric, we don't always hear from streamers when they're offline. It's when you're on camera streaming that we hear from you most. I'd be grateful if you could just take this opportunity to set up CasinoDaddy for us, your operation, your activities, and set it up in a way for much of our B2B audience that will only really have heard about streaming, but not necessarily heard from you directly.
All right, so basically what we're doing is we started out, me and my two brothers, in my apartment, actually. We had another company working with websites and stuff, and we had a common interest, gambling. We usually did gamble together, like do a deposit together and play together. And we've always been watching Twitch. It's a platform basically where people are playing games and broadcasting themselves playing the games and then interacting with the viewers. And one day we saw that someone was playing casino on stream, basically. And that's how we found the idea to start streaming. And my brother has been a poker affiliate for a long time. So we pretty much had the thinking of being an affiliate ready when we started streaming. And then we started streaming long streams because that's pretty needed in the beginning. So we did be at my apartment from 9 in the morning to 9 in the evening, pretty much streaming and playing casino games. And then people are tuning in, watching us play, requesting games, and just basically chatting a lot as well. Like it's interacting and talking with the viewers.
Sure.
More than just only playing slots and broadcasting the slots. Of course, that's the interest they're there for, but it's much more than that as well. And it's very good for the players. Like some players think that watching us gamble makes them not want to gamble that much themselves. So it's helping in that case as well. And also for the people that do gamble, they get a very nice review of, for example, the casino or the game that we're playing, so they can watch us play a game, and basically then they know exactly what the game is like and if they like it or if they dislike it, for example. And we have, I would say, live viewers on YouTube and Twitch combined at around 4,000 viewers. Of course, there's a lot of viewers coming and going. So unique viewers during a day could be up to all from 50 to 70,000 viewers coming and going every day watching the stream.
That's really good.
That's how I would explain it.
It's an interesting point, because with a brother as a poker affiliate, you will have understood audience. And at the start, you took requests from the audience, did those long streams that you spoke about. But it must have been a point where developers started contacting you and it became a real business opportunity. And I'm wondering about when you knew things had to change, when you knew you had to engage with the sector.
At the very beginning, we had to, when you don't have too many viewers, like you do when you're starting your stream, basically we had to contact mainly casinos in the beginning to get like streaming deals, like the affiliate part, and then also like the deposit bonuses that we can use to stream longer. Because if we were playing with only cash and no bonuses, it would require a lot of money, because in the end, you're not going to make profit on the casinos in the long run. So with that, we set up in the first place. And I have to say, like, the providers got more involved now towards the end. Like, I would say maybe 3 years of streaming, we started talking more with the providers. And like I think they found out how interesting it is for the actual provider, because we have the audience, everyone, like all the viewers is interested in slot machines. So like, I think that in the beginning, maybe the providers weren't aware of how good promotion it actually is until later. And now, today, every provider is very eager to be in the show and be participating, getting feedback, and so on. So it came more towards the end, I would say.
Well, that's interesting.
I can chip in there a bit.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I think we didn't. We were probably not the first one to the party of engaging with streamers. However, we've been watching streamers for quite some time, and we've been watching streamers playing our games, been watching the community around the streamers. What are they saying? What are they requesting? What do they play? What are they saying? What are they saying in their community, even outside the streams? And so for us, it was very interesting to get that kind of a first-hand feedback for the players, because we can use a concept test, we can use UX, UI experts for a certain flow of the games. You can do all that, but it's not when you see people playing it for real money. Even if it's in a stream, they're playing for real money. Yes, they get deposit bonuses from so forth from the operators, but however, they're still experiencing these games there, and people are watching it. So they're taking something that was an uninterest, kind of a home interest product, to a more kind of a accepted product and make it more interesting. And of course, that was interesting for us to watch. Then we start realize as well, like hey, now this platform is going to be interesting for our marketing departments to engage in, because we have worked with so-called network campaigns across a multitude of operators, the entire network of operators, and we said, hey, we're spending quite some money in network campaigns. Why don't we see if we can take a chunk of that and see, and how can we engage that together with streamers? How can we use some of the marketing funds that we have? And the marketing funds we have usually goes to the players. That's how it works. So in this case, we have the streamer community, which actually originally starts as players, who's then gradually, through passion and through interest and through followers, to becoming an influence, making it a business. But originally, they are players, and we find it very interesting to support that. And we get really good feedback. We're working with CasinoDaddy, working also with others. We get great feedback, so it gives us volume increases. It gives us a great impact for the games when we launch them. It creates a great impact of just enabling the community and get feedback on the games. What do they like? What do they dislike, and so forth. So it's really for a provider, it's fantastic, because you're kind of we're getting direct access to the players. That's actually the best thing here.
And I think that's a really important point, because the providers I speak to are generally very enthusiastic about streamers. And a lot of that, I think, is because now Yggdrasil and developers like them now have a much more direct relationship with the players, both players who are streamers and their audience who are also players. And I wonder, Fred, what you've learned about your games and about your business now you have this new relationship.
Sure. Now the thing is this: I actually like to be engaged in certain of those interfaces here and there, just to keep my finger in there. And I gotta say that I learned a lot during last year on the perception of our games to an extent that I start to question certain things we did in the roadmap. So you're gonna see it already from May and onwards this year. A flavor, I would say, math profiles and more math profiles that has changed due to our interactions with streamers. I mean, we even had in the kickoff 2019, we had Chipmunks, Alvin Chipmunks, the British streamer. He came and talked to the entire company, awakened the entire company around this phenomenon of streaming. And that changed, and we started from then on having workshops and discuss, because we had an interested player community, someone who was an expert on the community, what they said. So we started to engage that early, and I think you see it already from May this year and onwards. It actually had an impact on the roadmap.
It still feels like a relatively recent phenomenon. It was only maybe 3 years ago that I first met a streamer at the Yggdrasil offices in Sweden. And what struck me about that was that there was a very close relationship between the senior management of developers and the streaming community emerging even then. And Kristian, if I can turn to you, what that tells me is that streamers are really important to developers, and you must find yourself really in demand. You might have a lot of contact from a lot of developers asking you to play a lot of games. So I'm really interested in how you make those decisions and how you choose which games to play.
Yeah, well, it is, if I had a simple answer, I would give it to you, but it's pretty difficult to say what is a good game and what's not, because on CasinoDaddy we have 6 different streamers, and with these people, the audience also changes. So that means whenever a certain streamer, that could be Eric himself streaming, there's some people who's demanding him to play a certain game. Because they know it triggers him, he gets upset, they see emotion, they see him smiling, that doesn't happen too often, by the way, but they see him, engaging with the viewers in a way that they find entertaining. So that is one way to look at a great game, a streamer game. Secondary is nowadays, I'm sure you guys also seen that the market is moving more towards the volatile kind of theme. With us, back in the days, we could win 5,000x on a slot. That's not enough anymore, because people will actually see it as a low volatile game, even though it's probably not. So that is definitely another trend we're seeing, that the higher the X win, the bigger the dreams, and therefore the more people usually will say, "Oh, don't go play that game. It's so boring. You can't win anything." Those kind of behaviors are definitely developing for us.
Kristian, I just want to pick up on that point about streamers as performers, and maybe turn to you, Eric, if that's okay. I'm interested in how you recruit, how you pick streamers. They have to be engaging and they have to be entertaining. So where do you find them?
I mean, I would say there is a different part of streamers out there right now. We have the fairly newer ones that is actually owned by quite big affiliate companies. And we have us, like the traditional streamers, that is more like private persons. And for us, we need people that we can trust. So playing with our money, handling the stream, you don't want to get banned. You want people you can trust, basically, and to take care of the stream and the community.
But they need to be performers too, right? They need to be engaging on camera.
Yes, of course, but that's a thing that you can teach. I would say almost anyone to be interactive. I think interactive is the most important thing. Sure, you could have someone that is super entertaining, and I mean, it's if you want someone you trust to handle your stream, it's so much money that's in that is if the stream would get banned, that would be a big loss. So if we would hire someone and like something would happen, or like he wouldn't want the best for us, he could easily get our channel banned when he's streaming. Like, so for us personally, I would say that the main factor is that it's someone we trust.
Yep.
And close friends, basically. And then we try and like always push on being more entertaining, push on interacting more with the chat, for example. But I would say like that's us. And then we have the big affiliate companies that is starting up streams. Like it's like they're starting up new streams every day. They're recruiting like entertaining people and yeah, I would say that's like quite a big difference from our stream.
Yeah,
we are more on like personal level with the viewers than business level with a lot of entertainment and not that close contact with the viewers. So I would say that it's completely different, almost. I would say.
Sounds like it's getting quite competitive.
It is, yes.
With a crowded marketplace, with everything from large affiliates like you mentioned to bedroom startups like you were just a few years ago. Finding that talent must be a new challenge now, even compared to, say, a year or two ago.
Definitely. It's like before we used to be like in the lead of streaming, but then it would be me and my two brothers streaming together. Like that's what I would say our viewers want to watch. But then again, we have our personal life. We don't want to stream all together from 9 to 9. So we're valuing some private life as well, of course.
Sure.
So in that sense, we can't be 100% competitive with giving the viewers exactly what they want. So in that case, we have to let our friends do some of the streaming for us as well. And yeah.
And also, you're going to need a big budget if you're going to stream 9 till 9. That's quite something to finance.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course it is. I mean, that's why we're always negotiating with the casinos to get some advantage on the streaming bonuses. For example, like 200%, 300% bonuses, and we always keep track of our bankroll and so on. There is a common problem, though, that other streamers, I'm not going to name drop anyone, but it's playing with money that can't be withdrawn.
Yeah.
And so they get like a little bit bigger advantage than us because they can do. It is we can clearly see, like, we've been watching the stats, and if you do bigger bets, buying bigger bonuses, doing bigger base game bets, bigger bonus hunts, for example, you're going to attract more viewers.
Yeah, of course.
And if you're playing with money that can't be withdrawn, you're going to be able to do much bigger bets. And for us, that's nothing we can compete with. So that's why we're focusing more on being transparent and healthy gambling, for example, like doing bets that is considered somewhat normal. And we're trying that approach instead to the viewers, being transparent and caring about the viewers rather.
That's a good point, because we've not really talked about responsible gambling yet, and it's not something we talk about much in relation to streamers, really. People in your community, Eric, will be thinking about playing slots for the very first time when they're watching your streams. So in being transparent and open with people that find themselves in that position, how do you compete for audience in a much noisier and more crowded marketplace full of affiliates crying out for attention? How do you ensure that you're acting responsibly?
I would say, like, I feel very good about what we're doing. We're trying to be responsible. We have our core of viewers, and they know everything about the streaming section. They know what's real, what's not. And then we have the new people coming in. And those are like you said, the first time depositors, and they haven't really been gambling before. And what we're trying to do is we're showing withdrawals, we're showing losses, we're like, oh, we finished the wager, we should cash out. Like we're trying to be as what should I say, like as a normal player as possible, or like a healthy gambler.
Yeah, kind of real world gambling experience.
Exactly. Like, for example, like I said, if we're finishing a wager, we cash out, we make a new deposit, we get a new bonus, instead of like finishing the wager and then just blasting away tens of thousands of euros on stream. Like, because that's gonna like I said before, if I go back to that, like we are a role model for the players, and they're following a lot of what we're doing. And if we're trying to be responsible, like if you would go in and watch our stream, you would see that the viewers are caring so much more about our balances than on any other stream, I would say, on the platform.
Okay.
So they're like very well educated on what to check, like the wager, the KYC or the bonus terms, and how to play pretty much. So I would say just by us showing how we play is being careful for the community, I would say.
In that sense, I suppose they're more general casino customers than purely slots players. And talking about the audience, what really gets them going? When does the chat really explode? What are the hooks that really engage them?
I would say it differs so much, but if you're looking at like our loyal viewers, they want to see like you playing the game, trying to get the bonus, trying out new games, and playing like one slot machine per time, talking and interacting with them like on a social level. And then we have the one part of the viewers is more, they switch all around a lot on the channels. They try and find out who is doing the most expensive bonus buys, who's doing the biggest bets, and so on. So I would say it differs a lot from what type of viewer we're talking about. But I can tell for sure that if you're doing bigger bets and you're gonna gain more viewers, basically more of the new viewers and the viewers that is switching around on the channels a lot, I would say.
Okay. So if Yggdrasil or anyone else comes to you with a title and you play it and it's a good experience for the streamer and it's a good experience for the audience, do you have a sense that the players watching will actually go off and play the games themselves?
Definitely. I mean, we can just it's hard for us to track
Yeah, of course.
what the players are doing regarding the providers, but let's say the casinos, like if we have a casino in the panel under the stream where it's just a link, basically, it differs so much than if we're playing on the casino, like in terms of NDCs, basically.
Okay.
It's like day and night if we're playing on the casino ourselves or if we're just promoting it through a link in chat or in profile. So it differs a lot, I would say.
So Fred, this is all good stuff, right? This is what you want to hear. Mm-hmm. I want to revisit something Eric said before as well about streamers as the face of the industry. And it strikes me this is a relationship built on trust because you're entrusting streamers, as are other developers, with your brand, right? They are the face often of the brand to the player market. So how do you feel about streamers as the face of the industry, as gatekeepers?
No, but I actually think that they can be a very, very important part of a kind of a self-regulatory industry because they can put demands on the new operators coming in. They can, in terms of having the right service levels, catering for the players. They can also align expectations for suppliers or tell us what we could do better as well for the players. Bringing value to the players, their community, and also to the operators. So I think they actually they can take a really, really important role here, bring a lot of value for the industry. But as you said, there is still a bit of a very different strategies amongst the streamers. Some of them have a very aggressive model, maybe have a different kind of player behavior and driving the industry in this one direction, and others like CasinoDaddy, Casino Grounds are driving in a different direction. And I think the future will a bit dictate what model will prevail. There's no regulation in this area today with affiliation and streaming. They might talk about it, but I don't even know. I know that some of them are sitting under public listed entities, and they might have to adhere to different governance in general. Some of them are not. Maybe endorsing more, Curacao business. So. It is a bit of a wide field today in the streamers, as it is within the B2C operators in general. So for us as a provider, we need to tread carefully and see who we partner with. So for us, we rather partner with the ones that we know are doing it right, instead of taking the risk of working with everyone. So we have more of a curating selective model. And one thing that me and Eric talked about during the break here was the model of the streamer is also an enabler of creativity. And that is, as our publishing model is enabling creative studios to come to market and launch quickly, at the same time, they are enabling new creative B2C operators to come to market quickly as well. They could be very talented. They could have a very, very interesting UX offering, and they can be a great channel with a great audience. So I think that will also keep the market dynamic. So they can take the role of the ombudsman, they can take the role of the enabler, and they can also go a darker route. But as we know, always the Jedi's always wins. The good guys always wins in the end.
Yeah, like Frederick said, I totally agree with him. Like we have like I said during the break as well. Like we are like one player, but we're like 10,000 players or 20,000 players within one player. So what we do, we can easily channel our players where we want, basically. And we built that up with trust and liability for our viewers, basically. So let's say we play a new game, we play it before release, we build up the hype on the game, and on the release day, our viewers is going to play it because they've seen us play it, they've seen us talk good about it, we've showed the game, the possibilities and everything. So, like Frederick said there, I think we can be the ombudsman for sure.
I want to pick up on that notion of playing the game prior to release. From the publishing side, I was always surprised when I got a PR for a new game launch and realised it had been streamed or reviewed 3 months earlier. So what is that process? How is that early access to the game, and how are you getting early access to the games?
I think, Kristian, you could take that one.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that will be, because I'm basically, as I said, I'm a key account manager for the key providers. So I see the backend, among others, Yggdrasils, and it differs from provider to provider how early they have their demo links out of a certain game. But I would say, when you say about feedbacking to development, that is not an option, even though sometimes I would like to give my input because, I watch a lot of demo slots from the big providers, so obviously I see a lot of trends going on and so on. But I would say typically 1.5 to 1 month in advance before either an exclusive release with an operator or the general release on the entire casino network. So that would be 1.5 to 1 month in advance, and that would be with the demo version very often, and also assets in terms of banners and thumbnails and screenshots of the game, high quality. That I then can process to our content writers, and they can start making reviews and so on. But as for on the stream, we never play demo versions of any game, even though it's a very hype coming. We haven't done that, at least, because we want to keep it, for the real money and so on. And even though we tell our viewers that this is going to be a demo play because we want to showcase something, people are still going to be like, yeah, you're playing for fake funds, and we've avoided that thus far, I'd say. But yeah, that would be that's my initial thought on this.
Okay.
We have done a few, I just wanted a little bit of input there. We've done a few world firsts lately. It's been a quite popular thing that's been requested from the providers. So let's say we're playing a game the day before it's actually released exclusively on a site, let's say Casumo, and we have a promotion on the game and we play it the day before the release. With real money through Casumo and let's say a provider, basically. So they just give us a link, we go in and play real money, and we have a promotion along that, basically.
And in that sense, you're creating a media event too, a marketing opportunity for everyone.
For us as well, with the content as well, yeah.
Yeah, well, can I just give you one thing there, and that is, I think the ones who are releasing the game reviews and snippets of games and demo plays and so forth. That is the search, the SEO guys, affiliates, because they need to take rank, they need to take positions. No one wants to find something about the game. They need to be out early. So that's a different story. That's usually not endorsed by the provider. It's just happening because we give the games available for play in our environments. In our own, not usually staging so early, but when it goes into our source, where it's like a client area, that's when the things comes out. It's very hard to get involved in trying to go out in YouTube or Google and strike that, because in the end they're promoting your games. So it's a bit of a slippery slope here. I think we did early days. I think we had a lawyer who was very IP heavy, and he went after one of these guys that they had promoted this and was IP infringement and so forth. And of course, YouTube or someone slapped him with something, and that hit back on us tremendously, because that guy saying we're actually promoting your things. Yes, we're doing that early, and we're hijacking a bit of that, and we're making money from it, but we're still promoting your stuff. So it took us roughly 9 months to repair that relationship with that affiliate, which is a very prominent guy still. But you learn from your mistakes. So sometimes, it is, you have to take the good with the bad. The fact that they're promoting your things is actually a good thing. Yeah, it's interesting, at least how it works, that it's actually assets, streams, SEO, all of that is, it's players, circulating around here and ending up somewhere playing a lot of money, spending some money. And yeah, very interesting.
I would say we're not trying to hijack, but we're trying to trade stuff instead. We'll give you this type of promotion if you could give us earlier information than anyone else, basically.
Yeah.
Because we have the advantage of offering the stream as well, and so basically we have the advantage of normal SEO affiliates, as you said. We can on the day of the release, we can play the game for a whole day if we get some information about the game before everyone else, basically. That's what we're trying to do.
But it's a slippery slope. Not for you guys. I really appreciate that. But there was someone is hijacking, let's say, our brand, call it Yggdrasilcasino.com, and they're promoting our games there. But they're talking about other providers' games in there, and they're sending the traffic to operators that we don't even have the contract with. And then you have to say, do we want to work with them better, or do we want to slam them with some kind of IP infringement and try to take the domain? And that is the
rough decision.
It's a rough decision, because it's going to be short term. You're gonna be painful. Maybe the long term is going to be better. And it's not a golden rule here, but it is definitely you need to look at case by case.
But I would say this industry is pretty tough. Everyone is taking shortcuts everywhere. It's so hard to be in the lead by doing everything by default and by the books and stuff. People bought our CasinoDaddy.com domain, and they approach casinos pretending to be our stream. It's just one thing of the stuff that have happened, and it's a rough industry for sure.
It's a rough industry for sure. We have some other discussions later today or on one of the podcasts. Will we bring up counterfeit and all of that stuff as well? So I think this is just an example for how this industry, because it's so fast moving. Traffic is moving fast. New brands are popping up fast. New supplier popping up fast. It's a really fast moving industry. So there is a lot of elbows there, a lot of elbow pushing. So you gotta be the Jedi, but the Jedi is also the strong one.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah, I guess you're learning all the time about what works and what doesn't. And I'm interested, Fred, in how the streaming community now gives you some almost real-time, real-world feedback. And I wonder what that different feedback has meant for your business. There must be great value there.
Well, indeed. As you said, we received, we get BI data, so we can see network performance, individual performance, certain markets and so forth, player segments on a data level that we can get. We never get the actual player identity. We get the generic ID. So we have kind of never see the identity of the player. We don't see the user experience. We get the user experience from developing the game, conceptualizing, and then testing it. You can testing it with UX, UI partners and so forth. But there's nothing better, and I think I said it previously here as well, there's nothing better than to test it in the real audience, in the real environment. And not only here can we see the streamers play, because that's one thing, and they can feedback. But what I think was key here is to see their community, their reactions, whether it comes from the live streams or the communication and the all of that happening outside. Well, I think that's very important. When it comes to game development, yes, we see the appetite for variance has increased. I think you heard it previously about is the max X, how much is the big win and so forth. And that is it is almost also it's an interesting other side of that. On the other side, you have the operator saying, cap the max wins. We don't want to pay out too much, because if you have a €1 million win on a single spin, most probably you're not going to turn that money over in the next couple of days or the next weeks. You might cash out, and that could be having a serious impact. And especially then if you are a listed operator, all of a sudden you're going to say, sorry, in the third quarter we had a lot of high rollers winning in the casino. You're never going to hear that. You hear it on the sports book. But I think with a chase of the max bets, you could actually have that impact. So we see streamers wanting higher max wins. We see the operators saying, yeah, that's good, but take it down a notch. So we're sitting there listening to taking in feedback from various industry players. So we need to think about the end user. We always think about the user experience. And that is to be able to win some money and create that excitement around it. And of course, we align that with the ones who's representing the industry, the players the best, which means the streamers, or other types of forums. Honestly, there are other forums as well, test groups and so forth. But indeed, we do monitoring what's happening when the stuff comes out in that situation. We're listening to a lot of streamers. We might invite some of them as well in concept phases. We say, hey, where do you think things are going now, etc. But we cannot let the streamers only dictate what's going to be, or how the roadmap is going to be created, because that not be completely aligned with what the actual operators do in one end actually getting the players' money in, that we are then kind of sharing as revenue. So, yeah, that's the reality.
I would say as well, there is different type of players, like the players watching the streams and everything. They get very informed about the games and what to think of games and so on. And then we have the players coming from the SEO, for example, or directly to the sites that might enjoy simpler games, and they're not looking at the high X wins, for example. Yeah. So, of course, you need to think about those players as well.
And it comes back again to the relationship between the two, between companies like Yggdrasil and streamers like CasinoDaddy. A question for streamers is, so what happens if Yggdrasil come to you and say, we'd like you to play our latest game, and they send it to you, and you play it, and you think, it's all right. You can't be enthused about it. I mean, what happens then?
I mean, like we have a like very humoristic approach with our viewers. Like, so we're gonna joke about the game, and
because it's a responsibility to the viewers and to the industry. It's important to strike a balance, I guess.
Yeah, but everyone is so open as well. Like, if there's something they don't like, they're gonna like to have fun, and laugh about something. They're gonna overreact, like, oh, what the fuck is this? What happened here? Did this cat just do this or whatever in the slot machine?
Yeah, of course.
So it's like there's not gonna be like a business promotion of a game. It's more gonna be like a fun time, showing off a new game, complaining a little bit for fun as well, like complaining. Some viewers think it's fun when we're complaining, when we're being annoyed, and so on. So like, yeah. From a provider's perspective, I don't think they should look at too much at like our reactions and what to take us too seriously when we're playing a new game, for example. But we're talking we're talking good things about the game and showing it off and having a fun time. I think that's what we're trying to do. basically.
You must also have approaches from providers all the time that you don't really want to play the games for.
Yes.
And how do you manage that? How do you play games from one developer and not another? Because you don't want to be seen as too selective, I guess.
No, I mean, I would say like we have a lot of requests for paid promotions from smaller providers, and they want us to play their game for a certain amount of the week or the stream, and we try to avoid those type of deals, like, because if it isn't a game that people actually want to watch, it's just going to be us sitting there playing it for, and people is going to like, why are they playing this game? Like, they're not having fun. We are not having fun. Why are we like, so we in type of like entertainment, it needs to have somewhat of higher standard as well, I would say.
Yeah, some entertainment value, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd like to look to the future now a little. I wanted to ask you, Fred, perhaps all of you, about possible collaborations between streamers and providers. We've seen some successful projects of that nature already. Streamers and developers teaming up to produce slots. Will we see more in the future?
Well, I think that everything is doable. I think it's all going to end up being a commercial discussion. Who's going to take the risk for doing what, and branding, and who owns the IP, and so forth. It's a bit like doing custom games for. I mean, there's various ways of how this could play out. You know, you have the way that NetEnt did Dead or Alive. They were going a game. They actually made it together with Casino Grounds. Casino Grounds was engaged in the project, giving feedback, and they also, have a feedback on the gameplay, and they also made a part of actually making of Dead or Alive 2. Or you can do. I mean, I think Casino Grounds has been the ones who are doing this the most, to be honest, because I think deep down, Kim wants to be a game designer. That's what I think. And in his dreams, he wants to be a game designer. No, but I'm just saying that they did a different project there with Iron Bank, as we saw, with Relax. And maybe other streamers won't pick that up because it is Iron Bank is from another streamer. Could it be competitive? I don't know. I've seen it being picked up across streams anyway. So I think we, as a supplier, as a game developer, we are open for all sorts of collaborations. I mean, especially we sit now as being the publisher, we have 25 studios plus our own connected. And I'm sure there could be some match there to be made for anyone who feels that they want to do something, because in that it feels like they want to branch into do some game design together with us as a project or this. We are definitely open. If it could be together with one operator, I really don't know. We are open for discussions. That's for collaborations. I think that is one of our key things in going forward. Is increased collaboration, local collaboration. Through marketing partners with operators or whatever. We are open for all sorts of collaborations.
Coming back to CasinoDaddy and looking ahead to the future, I wonder how you see casino streaming or slot streaming changing in the future, whether you expect regulation or consolidation. What can we expect? What's coming next?
I mean, like I said before, I think that the streaming is it's moving in a fast pace. So like you said there, I think definitely there's going to be more streamers starting up in the future. And also like the providers getting more involved and everything. So I think it just keeps on going, fast pace.
As we wind up, I wonder, Fred, if I could offer you the final word this time.
Wow, what an honor. Thank you. Oh, I better shape up here then. Okay, shoot.
I would just ask you to sum up the growing importance of streamers to Yggdrasil and to the Yggdrasil business now and going forward.
Yeah, well, as I said previously, kind of summarizing this, I think that these kind of collaborations with the marketing partners, the influencers, such as CasinoDaddy and the streamers, that's going to be even more important for us. That gives us the connection to the players, and that is where we see the user experience of what we develop being actually experienced, and that's where we can get the real feedback. And I'm going to say that the innovations in this industry, as in all other industries, and it's going to come from the real innovations in the user experience, and that's its full stop. And that's how we need to be out there in the trenches where the players actually are, and get our innovations tested as much as possible. And there they will keep on having a really, really important role as being representatives there. But it's all going to be about the user experiences, and that is basically it. Whether the game is a slot game or whatever kind of game it is, it's going to be the UX. Whether that is the gambling experience, the high wins, whatever. But it's all going to be about the UX, and that's why we need a game developer needs to work closely with the ones who sit on the players. And as you said, representing 20,000 players, well, that's a big chunk of data you can get just there.
Okay, thank you all so much. Thanks, Fred, Eric, Kristian. I'm sure we'll talk again about streamers and the slot sector, and I look forward to it. Until then, take care. Thank you.
Super. Thank you.
very
Ciao,
much.
guys. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
one.
Have a lovely day. Ciao, ciao.